make a good outcome if we do them. And this is something called a practices. It is not that a theoretical approach so far, and I can share best practices, tips and tricks from my experiences. And I hope it will be beneficial for you guys who are joining. So let's get started without wasting any time. And so, okay, to start with, what is our agenda? Our agenda is like we will look for what is the industry level, what is the trends, and what exactly are happening around. Then we talk about a little bit of pair programming or pair programming whatsoever. And then we would like to know that, okay, how to do it, what is that, and how we can make a different styles of pair programming and stuff. And what happens after the pair programming. So we go forward to the review of the code and how the code review happens, what are the best practices and stuffs. So people, I mean, as a software developer, you can use all the tips and tricks in your project, in your life, in your professional career as well. After that best practices topic, we will go forward some questions and discussions if you have any. And I see that people are joining from all over the world, and I'm really really happy to be part of the conferences and also be connecting with you all people. And to start with, I would like to know something. um, how many of you have practiced pair programming? Could you please write that yes, no, maybe in the chat? Then it will be great for me to understand that. Oh my God, so many people have tried. Okay, then then I can say that that like you can see or you can get many similar informations you have. And those who have not tried, you can have that confidence or courage actually to go to start with that. So I would say that I have tried, and there are a lot of pros and cons I have seen, and I'd also like to share that as well. So before everything, let's see some statistics. What exactly that? So there, this diagram is like a general pie chart, and it is coming from the from the all over the world survey, where pair programming survey has been done, that people really like to do pair programming. And that liking means the thought process, okay, that I would like to try the pair programming. And the 96% are actually mixed of thought and then tried out. So this is not something like everyone has said, yay, let's do it, and we are like really excited about it, something like that. There are a little bit of differences between that thought, okay, I would like to try out a new approach, and I have tried out. And so we have that inclination of like, yeah, it's looking good, let's try out. This is the percentage that people are really liking it. Now going forward, like what exactly are other companies and other people are saying about it? So let's say I have a data that IBM actually reported, like they have saved $250 million, reporting that, I mean, so repairing and reinstalling the fixes, and that actually helped people of the IBM different projects, that they prevented this kind of a huge amount by only doing the pair programming sessions. And this is not only for IBM. There are many companies who has tried out and they felt it's really really beneficial. So I have taken this data from official IBM website. Now going forward, so what is the buzz word pair programming? So what exactly happens? How, I mean, those who have tried, you may have done this thing. What I have what I have shared in a pictorial representation, which is two people are sitting on a single computer before Corona actually, and talking about thinking about a logic, trying to figure out something like what exactly, um, how the solution should look like. So but what happens when I talk about that pair programming exactly, when it comes to the picture and how it comes to the picture, the reason is like, we as a software developer, we have evolved our software development life cycle so much. And what exactly the way we started with waterfall model, now we come with agile. So what exactly the connection between agile and pair programming? So it has this, I mean, the importance of agile is that it focuses on empowering people to collaborate and make decisions together quickly and effectively. Pair programming takes the collaboration to the next level of the developers. So it actually elevates the agile development strategies. And here I can say that not only the pair programming is useful, there are a lot of different strategies, techniques, tools are there to make an agile development smoother. And this is not a, again, not a theoretical approach, this is always a practice, like we wake up and brush our teeth. This is a practice and habit. This is something like, not we should learn about it and just forget about it. It's not. And the more you do, the more you will be better. This is the main approach for this. Going forward, when the technique was first used, so it was not that very recently. You will be really surprised to know that when it was first used. So it was used in 1940 by two ladies, Jean Bartik and Betty Snyder. They were ENIAC programmers. It was a very, I mean, the first level, the first generation of computers, ENIAC, and they were the programmers in that ENIAC, and they were called refrigerator ladies because they did the refrigerator programming. You see that these two ladies are standing in front of a lot of different wares are coming out and buttons are there, so they have developed this big, um, I would say, supercomputer. I mean, used to that computer generation where all computer used to be a big room size. Since then it was there. So but there were nothing like we can say, okay, it was there, but I mean, what is the significance we are talking nowadays? Because they these two ladies, they started it, but they never coined the term like, hey, we are doing pair programming. It is something like they did it, and then it was their part of the job, and then they moved on. I mean, now I can share that Mrs. Jean Jennings Bartik, who shared that she and Betty Snyder, they actually started a pairing sessions before, and they were really successful. That they could find each other's errors, and they could share the base ideas and stuff like that. And I mean, this statements and their bonding were really strong, so that they could solve critical problems together very fast and effectively. And this is a proven fact. Moving forward, um, who actually like taken this pair programming to a next level? The man behind is Kent Beck, who is an American software engineer. He actually coined the term called like pair programming, and he talks all of the pair programming techniques and strategies by his books and his blogs. You can read up. I have shared a book which is test driven development. He's very much famous for this book. He is also like a pioneer for this test driven development strategies as well. But at the end of, he coined the term pair programming. Okay, moving forward, how to make this work? There are two ways. First of all, we need to choose a pairing variation, and then we choose to decide a pairing style. So first, what are the variations? first variations are expert. That means like both software developers, they are really expert on some domain. Some could be a business expert, some could be a technology expert, but they could join together and catch up, yeah, sit together and try to solve a new problem, and that leads a high productivity and a new approach. Then it comes expert and novice, which is something like you can think of a new person joined to your team, and he or she is not very aware of the project and the code base, and then let's say somebody from the team has become a buddy to the new person and share information. So something kind of mentor mentee relationship, but it's I would say that very open, and could be vice versa as well. Now novice, this is very I would say that the situation when two freshers join a company and try to solve a problem. So this is something like a lot of time it have seen that the result has been more productive than a single person is working, because you can think of a situation that you don't know something and you can take and help of your colleague and you solve it together. It is a faster approach to solve a problem. Moving forward, there are styles of pair programming, which is driver navigator, strong style, ping pong, remote pairing. So here, this is the driver navigator. Like that means like who somebody is actually telling what to do, what not, and somebody is writing the code and trying to get the idea who is navigating. So it's kind of, you can kind of think of like when you start learning your driving lessons, you are sitting in your driver's seat and your coach is sitting just beside you and trying to guide you and take you to the right path and something. So this is the similar way. Then it is like a strong style approach, like okay, somebody started writing the code and another one, it is a variation of driver navigator, but it's kind of like nothing always a driver should write or navigator should write. It is kind of mix up, I would say. Then it comes ping pong style. It is something like a very spontaneous approach, like when whoever has the idea is trying to write the code. This is very much hasty, I would say. And if you are not, if you are beginner, I would not recommend this style at all. So it's better to be driver navigator mode, or I think the next one, which is remote pairing, because it is much more easier that you don't see each other, like you see each other via your video softwares, but it is less intimidating, like sitting beside someone is sitting beside you and trying to talk up, I mean guiding you through. So recommendation should be this remote pairing, and is also best for a COVID situation. Moving forward, how exactly the look and feel of the pair programming. I have taken a screenshot from my IDE, which is something like I am writing a class called account service, and I am trying to get the API working, which is localhost account API, and now I have somebody who can guide me up, which is here is remote. And as we are in the pandemic, it is the best suggested way to do. Now, how to proceed? So, first of all, you must share your screen. You must share your code controlling. That means some who is actually with whom you are doing the pair programming. He or she must have your control. Obviously, it is better, or it is recommended that you use you unmute your video and try to see each other facial expressions and gestures, so that you understand the ideas and try to like we see. How to do that, eye to eye contact, right? So that helps, like when you are trying to decide and planning and doing something. Then you write code, and then you test back and forth for the development, and then the partners and the both parties are agree upon a solution. Generally this is the way. And I see that Virginia is telling that someone like how to say, someone is some student is on the keyboard and some student is on the mouse. It was not actually at all I haven't seen such kind of pair programming session. Oh my god, this is so funny. But it should be unpleasant, because it is not the way you should do. It is something like more controlling thing, right? I will not release the mouse, or I will not release the keyboard. This is I would say really difficult. Okay, but nevertheless, things to remember before you start, like what happens, like you develop some code, and then the solution goes to a common code base. Code collision will appear, and there are a lot of cool tips and tricks which will help you to resolve the code collision. What are those? First of all, Git or GitHub, it has really great opportunity that you can create branches to actually take up a new I mean, for your new code, and then you merge that branch afterwards. So there are obviously steps how you actually do it and how you go for the merging. So we will talk about that soon. But this is the best tool I know so far. Maybe, yeah. It's I can think of like some new distributed versioning tool are coming, but GitHub has a huge success, so it's really nice. The general process is that you create a branch, and of your commit. That means whatever what are the development you have done, you just take those developments and take it on a pull request, that pull request to your target repository. And then whenever you have your review and discussion are successfully done, then you merge it and deploy. And this is the very like too much overview, and there are a lot of tools are involved. For example, creating pull request, you can use GitHub, you can use Bitbucket, and same for the code review. And when you have done the code review, you can merge it, and then the automation can take place. And yeah, you can or do the CI/CD stuff like continuous integration and continuous deployment and stuff. So it's very cool. Moving forward, now what happens? Like what can we have? What can we understand? Like when we are talking about the pair programming, like what are the negative points? Like I mentioned, like people can be intimidated. What are the things? So exactly, this is a very comedy picture that nobody does that like this kind of a situation. But it always happens in your mind when you actually working with a very novice or fresher engineer or developer. They doesn't know, and you feel like, oh my god, like I told him or her to put this thing, but he is not doing it right way. So you feel frustrated. But anyways, we have to overcome from this. So we first understand what are the negative point, and then we try to overcome. Going forward, so the negative part, like what are the general negative thing comes, which is compatibility issues. That means, like I mentioned, I mean, you may think that I don't know stuff, how I can write a code and how I can do, etc., etc. But trust me, you just need to be get started. Nobody us are perfect and expert in everything. So you should be starting, like you should um, be in a position that let me start, not thinking too much. Now moving forward, like, yeah, lack of willingness to do pairing. That means, let's say you have had a negative experiences, like how to say, before your pairing, I mean, let's say your last pairing session. Now what can happen is you are feeling that I'm not comfortable with how I can do it. But this can happen actually, but we should be in a position like whatever happened, but yeah, just move forward. Next, yeah, we should be. There are cases that if two friends are pair programming, they are talking about maybe the games and stuff like that. Could be a case. Then lack of courage. Like I have seen that that people are feeling like, okay, I don't want to really do because I don't know. Let's say, and loss of confidence leads to loss of confidence as well. Insecurity complex, it is also a negative part as well. Now, so this is the case where the expert novice and the introvert, they people come into the picture, and it's really hard to take that negative pitfalls from them. But nevertheless, how we solve the problem, this is the main motto here, right? So best practices are trust your instinct, yeah, just go for what exactly you are feeling about. Research together with partner like Ruth. Exactly, you are like, how much googling do people do their programming? A tons. Thank you, Erin, for answer. A ton, because you don't know. Let's say suddenly you need to, how to say, change the directory access, and you don't remember the command for the change directory access. Let's say chmod, will it be 777 or 755, whatever. So you just google it and get your answer from google, because it is not forbidden that you should not google. It is not like that. So it should be open. Then break the problems into smaller chunks. Always do that. Then put validation for each idea and share the pairing together. I mean, that ideas, like you always talk about what exactly you are trying to say, and how you are trying to put your thoughts. Take breaks is very important at all. And obviously be humorous and open. So here are some cool pictorial representation for the best practices and stuff, and like breaking the ideas. Then take breaks, and obviously don't take too much stress to start a pair programming, because you are actually working. You should not be in a you don't feel that you are in a gunpoint to pair, right? It should be both of the common wishes, common mutual understanding. Okay, now I would like to move forward. That, like, okay, then how you let your team know that your productive code is ready and stuff like that. So there is a next part which comes code review. What is code review? Like, you have created a branch, you created a pull request, and now what happened? That you should yeah, tell your team members that, hey, my pull requests are ready and stuff. So please have a look how it has happened. So yes, your code repository is done, and you should be involving your team and then get their review. Yeah. What is now a code review? That is something like or anatomy of your code. That means whatever you have developed, that implementation should be validated out, right? That by your team and team members. That is a code review, and that actually a very effective tool for bug free, I mean, to make your code bug free. Code review is an act of a software quality assurance in which one or several people take part and check the piece of code for correctness. Code review control flow. Developed code is ready to be reviewed. That means you are done. Now you are shipping your code to a position where people can, I mean, not shipping, that you are putting the code to somewhere the people can review. Code authors are sending usually invitation via team email or tools like Bitbucket and GitHub to create a pull request. Reviewers review code and provide feedback to the code author. If there are no open questions, pull requests are marked as approved, and they're ready to be marked to a code repository. Now, how you review a code? Yes. First of all, how to say that what is a good code and bad code? I have taken this image from a great book, which is Clean Code by Robert C. Martin, also known as Uncle Bob. That number of what the fucks is actually determining um, the code quality. So the less number of what the fuck is good code. That is the very nasty way of talking, but anyways, this is the reality. First of all, you define a checklist. What is a checklist? That we should be doing a common guidelines, right? Common guidelines. Then get to the context of the code before reviewing. That means, let's say your team member is given or putting a code review for phone or email validation logic. Before knowing what exactly the code is doing, you can't just write thousands of comments in the code review, right? It is not at all recommended. You should be knowing what exactly. Is there any bad code smells? That means whether it is null pointer exception or any kind of memory constraints, you should know that. Then is the code readable enough? And the code is performant. That means readable enough means there are a lot of great software design patterns, solid principles. You should be aware of that, and you should provide your code in a readable state so that if you are not there, somebody from your team can maintain it. If there is uncertainty, then please ask the code author and give the don't give just an approval. Or if you feel that okay, the code has a lot of problem, just go to the author and talk it out. Don't write an essay in a pull request. It is not at all a good practice. Then give a respectful and constructive feedback, always very necessary. Connect with the code author if necessary. Always explain why the code change or implementation is rejected, because if you just reject without have any any comments, the code author could be really feel bad, could be intimidated, and also be a little bit humiliated, like why they reject my code without giving any hint or something like that. So it is not at all like please don't do that. Then at least when you are reviewing a code, don't read only from the GitHub page. Please check out the branch from your, I mean, in your IDE, and then review the code. Now, yeah, I just mentioned, don't like start a big thread of comments and comments and comments, then you forget what exactly the issue you started writing for, I mean the comment you're writing for. And so the some pictorial representation which I have added, like which is exactly meaning what I mentioned. So just don't say bad words, try to be respectful when you're giving feedback and stuff like that. Okay, we are now going to an end of the session. So I would like to share like who are actually practicing pair programming and code review. There are many: Google, Amazon, JetBrains, and my company as well, RatePay, and many others. So there are nothing you can think of like only the FANG. I mean the top big companies are doing. Many companies are doing. They're not saying at all sometimes, but don't feel that. Yeah, if you are not doing, you are missing out something. But you can always start. Now, like the best takeaway, which is like don't compete with your team members, because we are not in a hackathon to win it. We are here to develop a product or write a good software, right? So always collaborate with your team members. Don't just be in a competitive mode, like I'm writing this much of line of code and this feature, so I'm so here and the other people is the here. So it is not that at all recommended. So it is always that sharing is caring, and this is the key takeaway I would say from this session. And try to collaborate with people, try to lift up people. It is not that we are here to prove so like it is not that we are here to prove something like you should be yeah, how to say, mm, it should be in a position that always you overpower or over do something, right? So please help each others and stuff like that. um then there are a lot of useful resources you can look up, which are, first of all, Martin Fowler's blog. He is a very renowned software developer. Then there is a great code review blog writer, Michaela Greiler. She is working with Microsoft. She writes great blog about the code review. She has a code review book you can read up. You can read up clean code from any kind of sources. O'Reilly I have added because I have read from that, and I also have the PDF. And yeah, so these are the resources. Apart from that, you can look up YouTube, Udemy. There are a lot of sources, but yes, I can say that these resources could be useful for you. And nevertheless, yeah, um, I kept my introduction in the in the last, so which is like, I mean, my connections. You can connect with me via LinkedIn, via GitHub, and I'm also present in Twitter. So if you like to, yeah, if you like to pair program with me, I'm also open. And let me know how you felt about this informations. Is it useful, and can you try now the pair programming and try to do the code review? And yeah, then let me know how this information is helping you. And yes, I think this session is recorded, and you can see this talk in the YouTube, I think, from the Women Who Code YouTube channel afterwards. And I hope it is beneficial for you. And yeah, now it is time for you. Yeah, now you are in a interviewer mode. I am most interviewee. So please ask questions if you have any. I can see that yeah, so great, I would say, lot of good wishes, a lot of great recommendation from Erin. Thank you so much, Erin, for yeah, participating in my sessions, and also for your great input. So I'm really happy to, yeah, see you. Thank you so much. And yeah, now it's time for you, for me, some questions.
I did want to call out that this was recorded and will be on YouTube soon. Women Who Code is off for the next week after other hard work on this conference, so we'll probably sure that those videos go up. Okay. I know that you answered a lot of questions throughout the presentation, which I am in awe of, being able to give your presentation while reading the chat. But there was a question that popped up, is how can a self-learner practice pair programming, and what resources are available for newbies to practice pair programming?
Okay, first of all, you can try to make a pair programming with your friend who is, for example, who is not maybe from, could be from your college, could be from your office at all. So you just make your hands on, just try to take a small calculated problem and try to do. This is the first idea for me to start with. Other than that, there are a lot of good resources. For example, the books I have recommended, and there are good videos in the YouTube, and you can actually look out like what exactly is suiting for. If you are a book lover, go for book. You are video lover, go for videos and try to do. But it is a lots of hands-on thing, so don't only read and read. You should be doing. If you do, then you understand that maybe you are unable to articulate your idea to your colleague. That in that case, you learn how to do it. So this is the both way learning approach for you and your pairing partner.
Great answer. How do you approach it if the person you're with is getting it very wrong?
Okay, I would say that don't say some words which could be very negative, and how to say that it could be intimidating for your partner. If you see that the whole conversation is going into whole lot of wrong direction, take a break, and then try to talk in some different topic, and then come to back your old topic and say that, hey, I think that our whole conversation is not going into the direction to which we are aiming for. We can think of in other way, which is, now you tell your idea. It is not that always saying, hey, just shut up and then look, hear my idea. No, it should not be the case, because you are here to work with the person which you are repairing with, right? He or she is not your enemy. You should not be talking at all with them. And always take some break if you feel that your conversations are getting really deep and your brain is hurting and your eyes are hurting. Just take a break and then come back. Always, it helps.
Break is always good advice for any problem you run into while developing. Do you have any advice or recommendations about finding an open source project to work on and finding someone to work on it with you?
Yeah, there are a lot of open source projects available. First of all, like if you're newbie, I would not recommend just to go for any renowned projects. For example, Spring or AWS or any kind of Java project. I mean, try to dig GitHub, because GitHub is the only place where you find all the open source projects and you can really can start working on. There are few websites. Code Triage, I'm writing in the chat. Code Triage. So this website has a possibility to contribute open source projects. So if you go to the website, you can find on your technological level, there are a lot of open source projects are going on. You can just get started in. And this depends on your interest or your level, like your beginner, intermediate, expert level, and it has a lot of various different kind of projects. So it's really nice, and it will give you, I would say that, experience of how to contribute in Code Triage. Oh, super. Thanks for sharing that you already used Code Triage. Very nice.
I have never heard of Code Triage, but it does seem like a great resource for Hacktoberfest and your free t-shirt or free tree
Yeah,
last year.
and I'm also sharing my GitHub account. So if you would like to, I mean, if you think that you can make some time for a little pair programming, send me a request, or maybe we can do a small project together if you like as well. Maybe not we, there are multiple people. It is very much open, so it is also a kind of open source contribution. Maybe we can make some app or something like that. So it's very open.
That is such a generous offer. Aaron also asked a question. Do you have any recommendations for encouraging people who don't value code review to think twice? I have encountered people who just rubber stamp everything. I know that they think they are being helpful by not blocking others, but I think we end up with low quality, buggy code.
I would say that this topic is really sensitive, because when the feedbacks are written in a not constructive way, the code authors are always feels like something is lacking in me and something is not right, and how I can improve and stuff like that. So I would say that let's why not, like, in a team you create a guideline, like what is the basic, I mean, bare minimum requirements to pass a quality code. Like you could have your code formatting, you could have your own way of making your code tests by your eyes and by your dry run techniques. For example, automation test is a very good technique to actually test whether your productive code is working or not. So introduction of this, for example, frameworks like JUnit, Mockito helps you to actually calibrate your productive code and try to get some hands-on on automated test cases. And now when you see that your code and test case are there and matching, then it is a good idea to, yeah, let the code be going into the code repo. But when you talk about just blindly approve and approve, this is, I would say, ethical problem that in your team, that people are not actually maintaining any basic yeah, like the rules or something like that. So then at the end of the day, it will create lot less value to your software business, right? So at the end of the day, if you are not working as a freelancer, for example, if you're working for a company, it is at the end of the day making business, how your software is actually producing value to your business customers. So if you have multiple incidents on your buggy code, your software image will be going low and it will be eventually be shattered after some point of time. So there is no point of doing that.
This is really great advice all around. If we don't have any more questions, then I just want to thank you so much for being here and giving such good advice and such thorough advice on pair programming and code review.
It's
Really
totally
good gems of knowledge in there.
It's totally my pleasure. I will share my presentation in the GitHub. If you are interested, you can look up after some time today. And also, you can look up for the YouTube video when the channel will release. So, yeah. And you can connect me via LinkedIn, GitHub. So it's open. And yeah, thank you so much for joining my sessions. And I really like the questions, and very much feeling very much blessed to be, yeah, to be part of the conference as a speaker. Any suggestions for resources to practice pair programming? Yeah, there are a lot of things. Let's say if you're using IntelliJ IDEA, it has a code pair plugin. So you just invite your friends via IntelliJ IDEA. But the negative part is IntelliJ has not released the code pairing tool in the free version. So if you are using your paid version, then you can get. Other than that, you can do premp. Premp is a software website where you can get the interview feel, the mock interview feel. So how to say, so you can invite your friends via premp and then get started, or you can just use free softwares like something screen sharing software, for example, maybe Google Meet, Microsoft Teams, Skype. There are many, Zoom. Just get somebody to pair with, and then use some software to share your screen, and then try to make a conversation. Yeah, Discord is also good. I have never tried Discord, but yeah, normally Teams, Zoom, they work pretty much good. And you just need to share your screen and try to, yeah, get speak with your pairing partner as you are doing. I'm just taking as you're working as a remote session, not physically doing, sitting on a single computer.
That's a really cool plugin. I saw Ruth ask this question, and I don't know the answer either. Does Android Studio have that? I don't know that answer, but I kind of hope so.
Okay, all right.
I don't. With that, I think we have a second set, our next set of sessions starting in 2 minutes, 12:45. And so I encourage everyone to go check out another session.
Thank you so much, Sierra, for moderating my session. And
Thank
I
you
wish
so much.
a great time, and hope to see you all maybe in future some days. And be safe and have a nice evening and the follow-up weekend. Thank you for joining, everybody. It was great pleasure talking with you guys.